And so it begins, man. The offseason is officially here, and free agency has yet to begin, but you can already tell that Xavier Mckinney and the front office are already talking about contracts. Now, I'm not going to over here and watch Twitter 24/7 to figure out what's going on in these contract negotiations, but it seems like Xavier McKinney is leading things on Twitter. And as much as he's saying, don't read into my tweets, I can't tweet about what I want to, bro, you're a lot more active now, especially when you know you're trying to get it back. As a player, some people use Twitter to their advantage and some people don't. Now, I was watching this here and there. Xavier McKinney was uploading some posts that saying he's top 5. He's top 5, and he's making it known. And when you say a comment like that, you want top 5 money. Let's be real. You're going to be a free agent this upcoming season. You know, I've never really seen him look into his stats by himself, like posting his stats 24/7. And now when it comes to contract time, if he's top 5 in stats, he want that top 5 money. And just to let y'all know where top 5 money is, you know, guys like Derwin James gets $19 million a year. Jamal Adams' contract looks terrible, $17 million a year, as well as Harrison Smith getting 16. I think the baseline is a Harrison Smith type deal for Xavier McKinney. Has to. At least the bottom being $16 million per year. And for the Giants, you know, do they want to cough up money like that? Do they want to be able to, you know, sign a safety? Is a safety a big necessity for this team? And now, before the season ended, I felt like Xavier McKinney was gone. I definitely didn't think that the Giants were going to pull the trigger and get a contract done. And shoot, at this point, a contract isn't done. But after they acquired their new defensive coordinator from the Titans, I felt like Xavier McKinney has to be back. He has to. When you look at what Shane Bowen had in Tennessee and the couple years that he was there, a big name that was on that defense was Kevin Byard on the back end. And they paid Kevin Byard. They kept him on that team. He was on that team prior to Shane Bowen being the defensive coordinator. But, you know, being able to utilize a guy like that, a ball hawk player that locks it down on the back end, Xavier McKinney's kind of similar. Xavier McKinney's kind of similar to that game. You know, you can definitely tell Xavier McKinney's effect on the field. You know, when he's roaming back there, he makes it harder for other teams. Xavier McKinney, his presence was felt lost last year when he got hurt. And now that's one thing. Granted, when it comes to these contract negotiations, for you and I, we have to side with the player. No matter how we want to be, we're not the GM. We're not the people with millions of dollars in their back pocket. We have to side with the player because the player is the closest thing to us. Xavier McKinney, I want you to get your money. But one of the things I think about is last season. Not this past season, the prior season when we went to the playoffs. Xavier McKinney on a bye week did hurt his hand, break his hand, and had to get surgery. Missed out on 6 games, I believe, 6 to 8 games, somewhere around that ballpark. And I bring this up to say not worried about his hand injury moving forward because he played well this past season, even with it. Not worried about his hand injury, but all I can say is that the Giants still elected to pay you. The Giants still elected to pay you after all of that happened. And I bring this up because, you know, a lot of players don't have to show any loyalty to these organizations at all. The New York Giants are paying you your money. You voided your contract by getting hurt by something that you weren't supposed to be doing. And the Giants still said, don't worry about it, rest up, get back, and we're still going to pay you. I think you have to look at that as a class act by an organization, especially one that's paying you, you know, one that's paying you that you kind of, you know, got yourself in that situation wholeheartedly. That was all by himself in Cabo, or I think we get used to Cabo. I'm not even too sure if it was in Cabo, but nevertheless, man, Xavier McKinney once again. I just feel like don't play it hard on us, but some people and even me myself, I will tell him, go get your bag. Go get the highest dollar amount you can. I hope you play it fair when it comes to the Giants, and at least the Giants can match whatever you get offered. That's what I hope. I think Xavier McKinney would be a sorted-out player around the league and possibly for another organization. And I think the Giants have to value him at that place as well with all the holes that we have. Everyone's complaints that I'm hearing about when it comes to paying a guy like Xavier McKinney, man, we don't have the money to pay a guy like that $17 million. We have too many holes. Go get an O-lineman. You got to remember, the Giants have been bad because they've been spending a free agency and not building to the draft. Xavier McKinney is someone that we drafted, that someone that's been here for the past couple of years. He has to get rewarded. We got to pay him. He's also a young talent that could continue to get better. Who knows? People forget that Xavier McKinney is only 24 years of age, man. 24 years old. He was drafted high, drafted early. He's only 24 years old now, set to make his first contract. Lock him down. Who knows? He's going into the prime of his career right now. So Xavier McKinney, you know, if I'm on board and I had to ask a question, is Xavier McKinney going to be back? I definitely think he's going to be back. I'm interested to see what that dollar amount is because guess what? We cannot franchise tag Xavier McKinney. Anyone that's talking about franchise tagging him, there's no way. Talking about the Saquon Barkley situation last year, and we'll be here to talk about it again. Make sure you stay tuned for that. When you franchise tag a player, all of that money is sent towards the cap. So if Xavier McKinney, a franchise tag, I think he's going to be around $17 million when it averages out. Xavier McKinney would count $17 million towards the cap, wholeheartedly $17 million. If you sign him to a contract, throw a couple bonuses in there. If you sign him to a multi-year contract, the whole average annual value is not going to count towards the cap. There's ways to manipulate around that contract to count less. Maybe it's going to be a $17 million contract, but then he only counts around 11 to 10 on this first year. With this offseason and this upcoming year being essential for this new regime, and I say new regime, but it could be an old regime pretty quick, they need all the cap space they can this upcoming season. So if you're going to bring Xavier McKinney back, you can't do it under a franchise tag. And who knows where we're headed. Saquon Barkley reportedly is not going to get franchise tagged. I don't know how that's going to play out, but you only have one tag. You can't use it on both players. And I definitely think Xavier McKinney's not the player to use the tag on. When it comes down to why should we re-sign Xavier McKinney, he's one of the leaders on this team, one of the leaders on this defense. When you look around the league, teams built through the draft and they pay their players, except if you're the Patriots. They pay their players. So if I'm the Giants, man, do whatever you can to get Xavier McKinney back. Go throughout this whole offseason because Xavier McKinney said this. He's going out to the free agency and he's going to go see whatever he's worth. Who's going to give him the biggest contract? Who's going to really want him on their team? That's what he's going to go out and do. And he's going to decide where he wants to go. Rightfully so for Xavier McKinney. Do you. But hopefully the Giants get the opportunity to match a contract by them. And hopefully the Giants can end up bringing him back. Because once again, that would be a big loss for this defense. When you look at the leaders on this defense, he's right up there with Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence is on the front end. Xavier McKinney's on the back end. And quickly, he's the oldest veteran on this team. I don't think Adoree Jackson's going to be back next year. So Xavier McKinney would be the veteran on the back end, the one that's holding it together and adding continuity. Do we want to escape that? Do we want to leave that? Do we want to go and pivot another direction when it comes to safety? In my opinion, I don't think there's a better option out there. I think Xavier McKinney should be back next year. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But y'all let me know how y'all feel down below about that. Let me know if you think X-Man's going to be back. Subscribe also, road to 10K, still active, man. As we continue to pace forward, today is actually the first day that you can put a franchise tag on a player. I don't think any of that will happen yet because those players are going to try to get a contract. But, who knows? Saquon on that market, we'll see, man. Y'all let me know how you feel down below. Subscribe, road to 10K, still active, man. Like the video, and I'll be out here with more content. Make sure you stay tuned on that. Subscribe to my other channel. We are starting baseball season soon. The Juke NYY. I'll have it in the link in the description, man. We talk about the Yankees on that channel. And I'll be going out to a couple spring training games this year. So with that, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.